It is time, of course, the greatest time of the week. It's time for Bold Predictions. Tim May, the 41-year vet. I'm just Spencer Holbrook. We are here at the Westin Los Colinas Convention Center, the Irving Convention Center, I guess it's in Los Colinas, the media hotel for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl at the College Ball Playoff semifinal.
In Arlington, and the whole thing's based in Dallas.
So it's based in Dallas. The game's played in Arlington, but we're in Los Colinas, which is also part of Irving.
Yeah.
Let's just call it DFW and call it a day. Tim, bold prediction for Ohio State, Texas.
You know what? I'm looking it up because I sent it to you a little while ago because we like to be on the record.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'd forgotten how many yards I called on this one. Yeah. But my point is, it's time for another receiver or two to step forward.
Yeah.
And maybe not supplant Jeremiah Smith because you know Texas is going to try to take him away, right?
Yep.
So I have big surprise, Emeka Egbuka and Carnell Tate. And I've got them combining for minimum 10 catches in this game for a minimum 130 yards and a minimum 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
As a combo.
Wow. That's a really impressive stat line.
By the way, did you know something Steve Sarkisian said in the press conference today? You don't get any points for being the underdog.
Yeah.
And I almost wanted to scream out at the press conference, you do in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Texas is getting 6.
Yeah.
So, according to FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah.
My bold prediction actually goes kind of hand in hand with yours, Tim. So I'm glad that we're here together because my bold prediction is that Will Howard will surpass his career high in passing yards in a single game.
Which is
327, which came against Texas last year in an overtime loss when he was at Kansas State.
Yeah.
Down in Austin at DKR. He's played well against Texas in the past. He can play well against Texas here. His receivers are really good. This Texas secondary is good. The Texas pass rush is good. But this Ohio State offense is on a mission. They're going to be ultra aggressive. They're going to get the ball out quickly, whether it's to the running backs or whatever. Will Howard has 4 career 300-yard passing games. 1 at Kansas State in his career. 1 against Oregon when he had 326 and was 1 yard shy of passing his career mark. And in the last 2 games, he's passed 300 yards in each of his last 2 games in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
I think against Texas, Ohio State knows what it's up against. It knows what it has to do. This is a very fast track, but it's also a turf track. Ohio State just played on grass at the Rose Bowl in a fast track. This is as fast of a track as Ohio State's going to get. They've got really good athletes on the outside. I think Will Howard's going to have a big day and pass that 327 passing yard mark, a new career high in the biggest game of his life.
That's bold prediction, but it is quite possible, without a doubt.
Especially if the 2 receivers that you talked about play well, and then he also gets the ball to Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, and Ohio State has not played a piker in this playoff yet, nor should they.
No.
But, Tennessee was vaunted to have maybe the best defensive line combo in the Southeastern Conference. You saw what Ohio State did to that offensive line or defensive line. And then last week, why couldn't Oregon do it again like they did before? The offensive line for Ohio State played very well most of that game. Not the whole game, but most of that game. So everything we've said so far is quite possible.
Yeah, exactly. Offensive player of the game.
Oh, that's where it gets funny for me because it could be Jeremiah Smith again. But I'm going to go with Trayon Henderson. He is the we've talked about lightning and thunder and all those kind of analogies. But as he showed last week in the Rose Bowl, and by the way, heart goes out for everybody living in Southern California right now.
Yeah.
That was crazy. There was a good chance if the Rose Bowl had been a week later, it wouldn't have been played.
Yeah.
Wow. But bottom line is you need either Trayon Henderson or Quinshon Judkins to get that home run like Trayon Henderson did last week. And, there was a lot of redemption there for him because he got caught on that breakaway against Oregon. Great breakaway run, but got caught short of the goal line the first time they played this year. Last week he was bound to determine that was not going to happen.
Correct.
That speeded him up to a certain extent. But
it's sped.
I'm going to use speeded because I think speeded you can still use that term.
Okay.
Sped him up.
Okay.
Speeded him up. But the bottom line is I think he will have one of those plays again. Quinshon is capable of that, but Trayon is the one who gets that play.
Yeah, I'm just going to not overthink this. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method. I'm just going to say Will Howard. He has to be great. Maybe this is the game that they finally use his legs a little bit as well. Maybe this is the game that he just has to improvise more. Maybe this is the game where he's just got to continue to do exactly what he's done the first 2. I don't know, but I know that it all starts with number 18. He's the leader of this team. He has very much earned being the leader of this team. Everyone respects him in the locker room. They will go as their quarterback goes. When at the beginning of the season I thought they would go as their weapons go.
Yeah.
This team goes as 18 goes. and he has been a lightning rod through this playoff. He's really playing well. He's playing with a lot of confidence. I can't say enough about him. If I think he's going to have a career mark in passing, I have to pick him as the offensive player of the game. I think Chip Kelly and Ryan Day are going to hand him a game plan and say, hey, go execute it, man. If you execute it, we're one of the national championship game. So
yeah, reminds me of in Waterboy. I love Waterboy quotes, but when the defensive player for the bad team says something to Waterboy, and he's going, whoa, whoa, and he goes, you sound like a big old choo-choo train. And I think Will Howard's been a big old choo-choo train first 2 games. I mean, he's delivered in the clutch. I mean, that line I keep having of dropping dimes, but he dropped dimes on Tennessee, and he did it again against Oregon. You got to have that, and you got to have a guy making a great catch on the end of it, like Emeka Egbuka did on the second touchdown against because that ball got deflected by the defender, but he still hung onto the ball. I mean, everything has to click for your quarterback to have a big game, but the ball's got to be thrown there in the first place.
Yeah.
And really, since I know it's only been 2 games, but he seemed like a different quarterback.
Yeah.
Since the Michigan game.
Correct.
Since it looked like, in my opinion, the last 2 weeks, he's had a game plan he could sink his teeth into.
Correct.
And I think that does wonders for you. No matter when you find it, as long as you find it sometime in the season, and what better time than when the playoffs start, you got something going. So I agree with Will Howard being your pick.
Defensive player of the game, Tim.
I'm writing a story about Cody Simon as soon as we're done with this. I still say he's not underrated. Everybody knows who he is. Steve Sarkisian definitely knew who he was when I brought him up in the press conference, the final press conference today on Thursday. But bottom line, he's having a hell of a year. But those 2 safeties, Lathan Ransom and Caleb Downs, have got to keep on keeping on.
Picking all of them, Tim.
No, I'm not picking them all. I'm going to narrow it down to, I know Caleb Downs is going to have a good. He hadn't fooled me yet, right?
Yeah.
And but I think Ransom is the guy that, so when you start talking about Jeremiah Smith, you forget about Emeka Egbuka, most prolific pass catcher potentially in Ohio State history.
Yeah.
That don't overlook. Just like overlooking some other guys in the past. But I think Lathan Ransom, I just got a feeling he's a guy that they may decide, well, of those 2, who am I going to try to pick on?
Yeah.
In the passing game, but also the way he has come up and supported the run defense. He and Caleb are on another level in that regard. So I'm going to go with Lathan Ransom. Final answer.
One of the most
I really like everybody on this defense right now.
One of the most underrated pieces of this defense right now, and why this defense is playing the way that it is because of what they're doing on the interior. They don't get a lot of credit, and honestly,
I picked those guys players of the game.
They haven't made a lot of the splash plays that you need. But if you go back and you watch the Skycam edition of the Ohio State Oregon game, Tyleik Williams was shedding blocks, and he wasn't making every play, but he was making life hell for Oregon.
Yes.
And that was causing them to spill things and get Jack Sawyer to come up and make a play, to make Caleb Downs to come up and make a play, to get Cody Simon involved with a sack because he was the spy on Dylan Gabriel. Tyleik Williams up the middle, Gabriel gets flushed, Cody Simon cleans it up. Jack Sawyer cleans it up. JT Tuimoloau cleans it up. Tyleik Williams is unlocking something for this defense right now that I don't think they were getting from him because of that ankle injury he suffered at Penn State in November.
Yep.
I don't think he was playing at his best those last 3-4 games in November. He's playing at another level right now. I think the stat sheet is finally kind to him, and so I'm going to go with Tyleik Williams as my defensive player of the game because he has to be really good in the teeth of that really good Texas offensive line if Ohio State's going to create another set of pressures. They've had 12 sacks in the last 2 games. They've got to have more on Quinn Ewers. They've got to flush him out of the pocket. He's not really that good when he's under pressure. Tyleik can be a massive part of that, so I'm going to go with Tyleik Williams as my defensive player of the game. And now it is on to the most important part, Tim, the score predictions.
Wait a minute.
I know what it is. I know what yours is.
Let me look it up, though. I want to be emphatic.
Well, I'll go first then, I guess. No, we can't go out of order. This is great TV. This is great TV, guys.
I'm at Dom.
Dom
DeBerry's calling.
Andy's getting a phone call. This is
the
good stuff.
I had a similar pick last week, but I don't care. I think Ohio State scores points in this game. Texas has to keep up. I've got Ohio State 38, Texas 27. I think Texas is going to score some points. I think Ewers is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But This game could turn into a little bit like last week's game, maybe not as obtuse. I mean, 34-0.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
Not even Will Howard's mom and dad, I'm sure. But I just think Ohio State right now is a better team. 38-27 Ohio State.
Final answer?
Final answer.
34-20 Ohio State.
Same pick.
I've got 34-20 Ohio State. Around the same number there. I just think that this Ohio State defense is going to be a little too suffocating for Texas. I think Texas is really good. Like you said, Quinn Ewers is damn good. I just think that there's a little bit more. I think there's a couple more pieces that Ohio State has and this Texas team has. And, I know that it's the Final Four. Everybody's on a mission. But I think this Ohio State team is really, really on a skyrocketing trajectory mission-wise to get to Atlanta, get to the national championship game. This might be the one that you need.
And we all know a mistake here and there, a turnover here and there changes everything. But just the feel going into this game, you just feel like Ohio State's offense is on such a higher plane than Texas is right now. Its defense is making plays.
Yeah.
It's been suffocating with exception. I mean, even a couple of those touchdown drives by Oregon last week were kept alive by some fairly almost miraculous fourth down plays and third down plays. Now, you still got to stop them. That's why Caleb Downs was upset.
Yeah.
Is they didn't finish a couple of times in there, which made all the difference in the final score. But I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, 34-20 Ohio State. That's the final. Tim May's got Ohio State winning. I've got Ohio State winning. It is a clean sweep here, 2 for 2. I think the other guys at Lettermen Row also believe that Ohio State is going to come out on top here in DFW.
Rainy DFW, not snowy now.
Yeah, it's rainy, but I think it might be a little bit of that freezing rain. It's wet, it's slippery, it's slick. If you're coming into town, make sure you be careful.
The word is slushy.
Yeah, if you're not coming into town, make sure you watch at home and make sure you watch LettermenRow.com for all of your coverage of Ohio State football. That's the 41-year vet Tim May. I'm just Spencer Holbrook. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. It's almost that time. Ohio State, Texas. Let's kick this thing off Friday night, 7:30 on ABC. We cannot wait. We'll see you guys in AT&T Stadium, Jerry World, on Friday night for Ohio State, Texas, and we'll see you over at LettermenRow.com.